Chester favored by at least a touchdown. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Patrick, Tommy Tuberville. It's great to have you with us. Paul Carcaterra will work the sideline. Wisconsin may be the least talked about undefeated fifth-ranked team in the history of college football. We've seen them. We like them. Don't they deserve a little more than this?
They deserve a lot of credit, Mike. They're not a great team, but they're a real good team everywhere. And when you have that kind of talent and you have that kind of depth and experience building, they got a great chance to run the table.
Jonathan Taylor may be a freshman, but he is also a superstar running back.
He is that. We saw him early in the year. He looked like a freshman running back, ran a little high. Now he's running behind his pads. He has patience. Nobody brings him down one-on-one, and you can't use an arm tackle. He breaks a lot of tackles, as you see here, and he might be a 2,000-yard rusher at the end of the year.
When Lovie Smith got to Illinois, the cupboard was bare. He is all in with his freshman class.
He really is, and it's not a recipe for success early. He's probably doing the right thing, getting a lot of these guys experience, getting them ready to play. They're really young on the offensive line, and that could play a factor today in this game.
Illinois has won the toss on homecoming. They deferred. A.J. Taylor is deep over his head and out of bounds, and they'll start from the 25. Alex Hornibrook, a 6'4" sophomore from West Chester, Pennsylvania, 14-2 as a starter. His 13-game win streak leads the nation. We saw him against BYU when he was absolutely brilliant. Hit 18 out of 19, threw 4 touchdowns and no picks. Since then, he has struggled at times. Big mistakes, uncharacteristic. 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions since that BYU performance. Taylor is the tailback. Number 23 gets the ball and plows ahead for about 4 yards. Let's take a look at the impact players. Sophomore Quintez Cephas has been the Badgers' big play guy, averaging a team best 17 8-yards a catch to go with 5 receiving TDs. Illinois strong safety Bennett Williams will be asked to help to slow down that vaunted ground game. He'll spend most of his day as the 8th man in the box. Good defensive play up front, and Taylor goes down in the arms of Jamal Milan, and that's exactly what this Illinois defense needs to do, make a dent in that ground game.
Well, they've got to put Hornibrook in the game. They've got to make him throw it, get him in second, third, and long. That was a big play. Just moved inside, beat the guard, got penetration, and that's what they're going to have to do today. They're going to have to catch Jonathan Taylor in the backfield before he gets cranked up.
3rd down and 9. Rashid Ibrahim is in as the 3rd down back. He wears number 9. Hornibrook hit as he throws and falls incomplete. Excellent pressure off the edge by Illinois. And they force a 3-and-out on the opening possession.
As you look, Michael Dieter gets beat to the outside. He gets a good jump off the ball. Michael Dieter turns his shoulders. You got to get depth as an offensive lineman. If you turn your shoulders, you're beat. That was poor technique right there by Michael Dieter.
Lottie will come on to kick. They may be taking another look at this. And they will. Was his arm coming forward?
Again, a good jump. Dieter turns his shoulders. Ball goes forward. That's got to be a pass. You can't get that much on a football if it's a fumble going forward. Arm going forward, ball going forward.
Boy, barely though.
It's close. It's a great start with this defense.
Isn't it?
Illinois, they need penetration. They can't sit back and play technique. They've got to put a lot of pressure on Jonathan Taylor in the backfield when he gets the ball, and they've got to put a lot of pressure on Alex Hornibrook in the pocket, make him get out of the pocket.
Snowy pregame.
This offensive line, Mike, from Wisconsin has had a great year to this point simply for the fact that they're young, they're sophomores and juniors, but they play well together. That time, they didn't communicate very well.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
So they really didn't have enough evidence to do anything else with it except to say the call stands.
Not a very good opening possession for Wisconsin.
Lottie to kick to Dudek, and they're glad to have him back. Has to go to the ground to keep the ball after a 36-yard punt. Jeff George Jr., the sophomore from Indianapolis, leads this club. His father, Jeff, the #1 overall pick in the 1990 NFL Draft. Both he and his father led Warren Central to Indiana High School state championships. Good field position to start for Illinois at their own 39-yard line. George, not a running threat. 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on the season. And Kendrick Foster, because of injuries, last year's leading rusher, is in the ballgame. George to throw on 1st down and throws too high for Dominic Thiemann. Crowd wanted a flag. They won't get it. Nelson was on the coverage. Let's take a look at the impact players. Cam Thomas, the Illinois backup quarterback, but will play a lot today, primarily a running threat. Played in his first college game last week. And Natrell Jamerson used to be a corner. He's now the free safety for the nation's 6th-ranked defense, described as freakishly athletic. Malik Turner.
Incomplete.
And that's incomplete, so George starts 0 for 2. And here comes Cam Thomas. That didn't take long, Coach.
No, we were told he was going to play a little while, but Cam Thomas is the future for this football team. He's a running quarterback. He made some plays last week in his first participation as a true freshman. He does have speed. We'll see what he can do against this defense, though. They also have speed.
Looks like an odd substitution for a guy who was primarily a runner to bring him in first time on 3rd and 10, but we'll see. Wants to throw out of the pocket. Zips that, and it's picked off. Derek Tyndall stepped in front, and Cam Thomas comes in for 1 play and throws a pick. Not what they were looking for.
Yeah, Garrett Tyndall just sees a 3-step drop. He gets out of his back pedal real quick, breaks on the ball. He let the ball go a little bit too late, but again, the receiver's got to come back to the ball. You see here, Tyndall just breaks down. He doesn't get any depth at all. Breaks on the ball. It's just not a very good throw. Not a very good job of the receiver knocking the ball loose, coming back to the ball.
So Wisconsin sets up shop at the 40. Hornibrook throws on the run, and the catch takes it down to the 33-yard line. Trey Fumagalli, his favorite target. And let's check in with Adnan Burke. Adnan, first use of putrid so far today. Rather descriptive term, and you might talk about Illinois' offense in the same breath. Del'Shawn Phillips are happy to have him back at a linebacker spot where they have been hurt so much.
The only chance Illinois has today to stop this running game, Mike, is to play 8 and 9-man fronts, and that's what they did there. They're guessing which side to bring an outside linebacker, and that time they guessed right, got penetration, nowhere to go.
Taylor, 2 out of his 3 runs have been for negative yardage. 3rd and 4 here. Hornibrook to throw. Good protection this time. Deep sideline. A little late. And out of bounds.
Horny Brook's had problem throwing the ball down the field and then not sailing on him, going high. A lot of times that's not getting your weight to your front foot. There he gets it to his front foot. It looked like the ball just slipped out of his hands. Plus, he's throwing into the wind. And when you throw into the wind gets under the ball and it raises up. Not a very good series there for Wisconsin.
And a very conservative move here from the 34. Lottie will come on to punt. End over end, shanked it. Not a good kick at all, and a rather sloppy start for both ball clubs today. We've got a timeout, first quarter, a 15-yard punt for Wisconsin.
The end. Strength, toughness, and a pound-it-in-your-face mentality have always been staples of the Wisconsin football program. And the big guys up front on game day, well, they turn on and they want to play as fast as possible. Check them out pregame. This is tackle Michael Dieter doing hang snatches and power cleans. I spoke to Ross Kalaji, the head strength coach, and he told me it activates the nervous system and gets players ready for the game. He went on to tell me, you don't ease into a fist fight, do you?
Thomas on a rollout, and he is drilled as he got rid of the ball. Leon Jacobs. Thomas is now thrown 6 passes in his college career. 2 have been picked, and 2 have been incomplete. 2 have been caught.
Not a very good start.
No, it's not.
And here they're trying to get him out of the pocket away from the rush, and he doesn't really throw the ball that well on the run so far this year. We'll see what happens.
Foster is the running back, offset to the right. Foster will get the carry, absolutely nowhere to go. Stuffed by Arrington Farrar, one of the linebackers, and this is a good linebacking core on a very good defense, 6th ranked in the country.
That's a good example right there. The offense that they're going to run with Cam Thomas, that's the quarterback option that they have not run with any of the other quarterbacks. And so you'll see a little bit different feel from number 10. They're going to try to keep the ball in his hand as much as they possibly can off of a read.
3rd and long. Blitz coming off the corner. They don't get there. And did he catch it in bounds? He certainly did. Malik Turner, number 9 all-time in yards, number 10 all-time in catches, and that one was on target for 29 yards.
It was an excellent timing route. He throws the ball even before the break, puts it right on the sideline where nobody can catch it but Malik Turner. Good play.
29-yard completion to your line.
One guy that Wisconsin is missing in the secondary today, their strong safety, Dakota Dixon. He's a good one. Experienced tightness in his right leg, so Joe Ferguson, the grandson of legendary athletic director Barry Alvarez, gets the start. Foster, couple.
Kendrick Foster, the ball carrier.
Stopped by T.J. Edwards.
You can't run lateral on this defense, especially with outside linebackers. Everything is going to have to cut back up if they do start outside. Kendrick Foster has not been a starter. He starts today for Ravon Bonner, who has been listed as hurt from last week's game.
2nd and 8. Quarterback keeper. And this is what they like about Cam Thomas.
Just an RPO, run pass option. Quarterback keeps it. Cam Thomas is going to be able to run this offense, but can he throw it and run it? What they're going to have to do today, they're going to have to defend him. And when you have to defend a quarterback, the defense, then it gives them an extra option, so it's going to be a little bit tougher.
George comes back in the ball game, and this is what offensive coordinator Garrick McGee said we would probably see situational substitutions between Thomas and George. Fake the end around, and that will work for -1 yard as Chris Orr is there. Foster is starting because of massive injuries to other running backs. Epstein was the starter, broke his foot. Ravon Bonner followed him. He had a concussion. Dre Brown was supposed to play a lot. He had a concussion. So they're down to 3 running backs, including the third guy who they moved back from the nickel spot. Trips left on 2nd and 11. George with the play fake. Unloads, has a man wide open and missed him. Malik Turner had 2 steps on the defender. That was a free touchdown, and they missed it.
Good, yeah, excellent execution from the receivers. They plan a zone defense. George sees it. He knows he's got to go to the outside. They cross their wide receivers. Malik Turner gets wide open.
He was being covered by a linebacker, Garrett Dooley. You have to believe that's a blown coverage of some kind. And if George puts air under that ball, they've got a chance. 3rd and 11, Thomas is back in. Pretty good protection. The pass underneath. Turner or Thiemann can't come up with as he dove to try to corral it, and they'll punt the ball away.
On that last play, look at the routes of the receivers. Malik Turner just slow plays it. He lets the other 2 receivers clear out. He runs a corner route. He's wide open. As you said, Garrett Dooley has got to cover this guy. He thought he was going to have help by a corner.
Nick Nelson, the receiver, Wisconsin.
Hayes comes on to punt. Nelson waits inside his 10. Trying to get that reverse English and forces him to make a fair catch at the 8. 32 yards on the punt, and George knows he had one. And Illinois has not looked like a 4-touchdown underdog. Taylor straight up the middle, nothing there. We check in with Adnan. Adnan, thanks very much. 2nd and 8. Eight guys in the box for Illinois. Tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC or ESPN2. It's Georgia Tech taking on number 7 Clemson. Texas Tech squaring off against number 10 Oklahoma. Check your local listings for the game in your area, or you can watch them both. Just use the ESPN app. Wisconsin facing a 3rd and 4 already with multiple 3-and-outs for the first time this year in the first quarter. Hornibrook with time, throws underneath, ball comes loose. Was it a catch? Incomplete. Good defense by Jalen Dunlap, the corner number 1.
He catches, he wants to throw at the outside receiver to Fumagala, but he's covered. A.J. Taylor has got to turn on the speed. He's got to outrun that linebacker. He kind of turns back and kind of loafs through the route. That's the reason the ball was a little bit late and a little bit knocked out before the completion.
Lottie so far punts of 15 and 35. They may want to look at that last play. No, there's a flag down.
Legal substitution. Defense. There's 12 players. Information. The 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
4th and 4, and they have an illegal substitution, a gift. First down for Wisconsin.
Can't afford to do that. That's all on the coaches on the sideline, the special team coach. You count them before they go out there. And you can't cross the numbers. Once you cross the numbers, you count as a substitution. So, big break for Wisconsin.
Tommy, Wisconsin has not thrown the ball on first down, and it's almost like Illinois is daring them to.
Yeah, they're putting 8-9 on the line of scrimmage. They're probably going to have to run speed sweeps, or throw the ball down the field and play action to have a chance to move the ball down here in their end of the field.
Pushing and shoving after Tymir Oliver, number 96, appeared to jump early.
Offside. Defense with contact. The 5-yard penalty remains first down.
These are mistakes you can't make against a team like Wisconsin. They don't need help. Let's go to Clark.
Young and inexperienced, but Mike and Tommy, watch these guys field level. They go after the ball with relentless approach. They lead the nation in 1.83 forced fumbles per game, and they're going after it every time they tackle.
Taylor up to the 32, and part of that is from Lovie Smith's background as a coach, a longtime coach in the NFL, as well as defensive coordinator Hardy Nickerson, one of the best linebackers of his era. They know the value of stripping the football.
And when you're playing this many freshmen, you better get some turnovers to keep yourself in the game. And they've done a good job of that, and they're going to have to do it today.
Ramish is the fullback. Taylor picks his way, still on his feet. Gang tackling by Illinois as he gets near the 41-yard line. Let's go to Adnan.
Fullback led that play, opened it right up. 10 yards on your play.
Adnan, thanks very much. Ball out at the 41, Wisconsin finally moving it a little bit.
The first 4 running plays, Mike, they ran to the tight end side. The last 2 ran back to the open inside, the weak side, and had a little success.
Power I formation, Taylor again, dragging a couple of tacklers with him for 3 yards. Harding and Crawford made the stop.
Number 9 for the defense must lead the game for 1 play for his helmet off. Number 9.
Taylor joined quite an exclusive list last week, one of 6 freshmen to go over 1,000 yards in the first 7 games. I direct your attention to the first 3 guys on that list: Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, and Adrian Peterson. This is running back heaven. Bradrick Shaw will get a chance, and he pounds straight ahead to the 49. This is more like what Wisconsin likes to do to.
Run right at the defense. When you've got 9 people on the line of scrimmage, the weak point of the defense is up the middle, not to the side. You've got linebackers coming from both sides. Good game plan. They've got to make penetration to get them in long yardage, but it looks like Wisconsin's kind of figured this out.
3rd and 2. They need to reach the Illinois 49. Shaw, the tailback, cuts back inside and has the first down.
They are a great short yardage offense. And anything 3rd and 3 or less, they have the defense has a tough time of stopping them unless they get some kind of penetration. Illinois has not got any penetration on the D-line since the first play.
Statistically, at least, it's strength against weakness, because Wisconsin, 16th in the country running the ball. Illinois has not been able to stop it. They are 107 on defense. And a good start to this game, however. Breaking outside, Taylor still on his feet to the 20-yard line. Finally taken down by Delshawn Phillips after a gain of 28.
This is where Jonathan Taylor's gotten better. When he breaks the line of scrimmage, hand tackles do not bring him down. He continues to go. There's 2 guys that miss tackles. Number 3 catches him from behind. That was a big play right there, back to the weak side.
3rd in the country at almost 160 yards a game. Only Bryce Love and Zach Abbey are better. Love didn't play the other night. Abbey, of course, in that option offense. Shaw rolls inside for a couple.
You can tell Shaw does not have the vision inside between the tackles as Jonathan Taylor does. He runs kind of tiptoed, and he can't make that cut like Jonathan Taylor.
Taylor is a special kid, a two-time New Jersey sprint champion. Was not heavily recruited. They were worried about his speed. You would think a stopwatch in those two sprint championship races would have taken care of that. Garrett Groshek is in. He's number 37. First appearance at tailback. They have used him as a wildcat, and Groshek breaks the line of scrimmage and gets inside the 10 where he's upended by Stanley Green, but it is another first down.
I like his quickness. Former high school quarterback, and he got great burst through. He knows how to run once he breaks the line of scrimmage because he's ran many option plays in high school. They like him again. You'll probably see him today at Wildcat. They ran him there last week, and they'll run the option with him. So he'll be a good guy to keep an eye on down the stretch for the next few games.
So after being stuffed early, the Wisconsin running game going at full force now. Groshek in that traditional tailback spot inside the 5, inside the 4. Green submarined him again.
Their number one play, the power play, where they either pull a tight end or pull a lineman, kick out, go downhill again. A lot of power plays go wide. Wisconsin likes to run it straight downhill over the center and guard.
Paul Christ, 28-6 in his first 34 games. It's the best start in the modern era of Wisconsin football. It goes back to 1946. Groshek got to about the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal.
The Illini have everybody in gaps, and they're forcing them to run the ball wide to possibly get them in a long yardage situation. They were not going to let them run the power play inside.
First 3 drives, Wisconsin had only 9 plays in 3 drives. This drive has already gone 13 plays, and it's been smash mouth. They'll spot the ball just outside the 2, 3rd and goal. Taylor back in. Toss to Taylor. Got to the goal line, but not across it. Be amazed if they brought on the field goal team.
Excellent block there by Xander Neville to the outside. Just a quick pitch. They fake the fullback, throw the quick pitch. Xander Neville, 85 right there. Good block. Jonathan Taylor's got to lower that pad and run over that DB. Bennett Williams is a true freshman from California. He made 14 tackles last week. Number 4.
4th and goal, inches away. Fullback, touchdown, Alec Ingold. That had to surprise him a little bit because Ingold only had 4 carries all year long. Everybody looking for Taylor, and Ingold took it in.
All that is a glorified quarterback sneak. It's the belly play. The quarterback reverses out, gets the linebackers to go that way, and then hands a quick handoff to the fullback. He just follows his guard and tackle in the end zone. That used to be the number 1 goal line play in college and high school football.
92 yards and 8:05, 15 plays. Gaglianone for the point after. He is 34 for 34 on points after this year. And Wisconsin up by 7. Adnan, thank you very much.
Kickoff's going a little bit into the wind here, so there'll probably be a good chance for a run back.
Foster is the deep man, retreating toward his goal line with only 7 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Foster lets it go over his head. Today, number 4 and undefeated TCU takes on number 25 Iowa State. It's a huge game in Ames. The Horned Frogs have won the last 4 against the Cyclones, 7-1 all time, in fact. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC or ESPN2. Check your local listings, or don't bother and get the ESPN app, and you don't have to worry about it.
Gary Patterson, defensive head coach, he will have a plan for that passing attack at Iowa State. It should be fun to watch.
Foster the tailback, Thomas at quarterback. Play action, Thomas under pressure. That's away, throws it up for grabs and almost intercepted by Nelson. And that is the end of the quarter. Thomas has come off the bench. He is 1 out of 5 and 1 pick. Welcome back to Illinois. It is homecoming, but Wisconsin not being much of a guest today. They're up 7-0. Cam Thomas at quarterback in relief of Jeff George, although George has been in and out, and it has been a struggle for Thomas. He will keep, breaks a tackle, got to the 33-yard line, couple of yards shy of a first down. Alec James made the stop, and he looks far more comfortable running the ball, Coach, instead of trying to throw it.
Yeah, and I like his quickness. Man, he had a great spurt there and didn't block anybody. He basically made 6 or 7 yards on his own. They tried to run the zone play. He kept it, just burst up inside. He has got very good quickness, and that goes very well with the speed that he has.
2 carries, 17 yards so far. Foster, ouch. Connolly just flattened him in the backfield.
Well, both the offensive tackles for Illinois weigh 680 pounds combined, and they just get beat by quickness right here by Ryan Connolly. Up the field, make a play. I mean, that's an easy tackle right there, but the last few plays they have brought both linebackers from both sides. They're just trying to keep Cam Thomas inside. Don't let him get to the outside.
It's a great feeling for a running back, knowing you're going to get another foot before you get level. Blake Hayes will kick to Nelson. Nelson backpedaling and loses his balance at the 23. Good kick, 46 yards. There is a flag down, however, back at the 35-yard line.
That's a pretty good punt into the wind.
Yes, it was. A driving spiral.
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 31. The penalty being forced from the end of the kick, first down.
Let's take a look at today's Aflac trivia question. When was the last time, thank you, the Fighting Illini defeated a top 5 opponent? You need to be good to get this one.
I have no clue.
Ruminate on it a little bit. We'll get back to you. And Wisconsin takes over at its own 15. Remember that great drive they had for a touchdown? That was only set up on 4th and 4 when Illinois made an illegal substitution for 5 yards and a first down. That's what keyed that drive. Ingold and Taylor are the running backs. Taylor again. Now let's check in with Adnan. Thank you, sir. 2nd and 6 here for Wisconsin.
Sam linebacker number 10, James Knight, has made his presence known today going to the tight end side.
Hornibrook, looks like he's trying to set up a screen, can't do it, and throws it away. Well defended by Illinois. They had 8-9 guys in the box. And Wisconsin was going to try to fool them. James Knight was putting pressure on. They had run the ball 13 consecutive times before trying to set up the screen. And Hornibrook now faces 3rd and 6.
It's just hard to run those bootlegs or sprint outs against man coverage. And to get into man coverage, you got to play 8-9 man front. So they're just locked up. Hornibrook's going to have to be on target today on passes.
Only 1 out of 5 so far. Ibrahim in the ball game. Hornibrook rifles this one complete for a first down to Kendrick Pryor, a young guy they have been waiting for, who was in a motor scooter accident in camp. Really messed up his face. Said he was lying in the street and looked and saw a tooth and then realized it was one of his. Took a selfie and immediately called 911 when he got a look at his face.
If I'd have been the head coach, I'd have been a little bit mad. Obviously glad that he wasn't really hurt real bad, but missing this point, they need that quickness on the outside. He showed the quickness there, Kendrick Pryor, on that real quick slant.
He will wear a helmet next time. Taylor cuts it to the outside. Across the midfield stripe into Illinois territory. 14 yards on the run.
He absolutely just outruns the defense here, and he's got to run wide. Not much blocking. Everybody slants to the other side. He just outruns Jimmy Marquise to the sideline, and luckily number 7 was there. Stanley Green, if he's not there, he runs 60 yards. They're taking a lot of chances, Mike, on defense. Taylor
was held in check early, but the last 7 carries have gone for 68 yards. Little delay, and Taylor picks his way to the 46, and we check into Paul Carcaterra.
It looked like that ball was stripped after the whistle, but regardless, Jonathan Taylor knows the significance of this offensive line. He recently said it's a brotherhood with him and this line. He couldn't be doing it, obviously, without these guys. In field level, let me tell you, these big guys move incredibly well. You look at the left side, guys like Michael Dieter and John Dietzen, 6'6", 330 type guys, and their feet are nimble. Both guys were hockey players in high school. Could you imagine going into the boards against one of these guys, Mike?
No, thank you, sir. But this is a staple of Wisconsin football. The big eaters are always there. Hornibrook picked off, thrown right in the hands of Bennett Williams. And that's what Hornibrook has been doing the last 4 or 5 ball games, making the big mistake on a bad throw. Return to 21, and Illinois desperately needed that turnover.
Sloppy in the passing game, and that's what's cost them the last few weeks of giving up easy touchdowns. It's just a simple pass here, simple throw and catch. He doesn't see Bennett Williams. He's got to throw it over his head. He doesn't do it.
Fumagalli was wide open, running to the outside. Reasonably nice day here after it was misting early with a cold wind. Illinois sets up shop at the 45-yard line. Thomas under pressure, hit as he throws, and the ball dies around the 25-yard line. Let's go to Cart.
Well, you saw Bennett Williams with that pick, and technology helped this kid get recruited. Hardy Nicholson, the defensive coordinator for the Illini, was a college teammate of Bennett Williams' father, his dad Gary at Cal. He's followed him on Facebook, saw videos of Bennett Williams. He wasn't heavily recruited and continued to watch and watch and watch, and said, why isn't anyone really after this kid? And well, they got lucky. The kid from California now is playing in Illinois and making plays.
They really did, Clark, and Thomas comes out and throws incomplete. Looked like miscommunication with his wide receiver, and we'll check in again with Adnan.
Incomplete.
Adnan, thanks very much, and it has been a struggle here for the freshman Cam Thomas. 1 out of 7 with an interception. As a group, the quarterbacks this year, 5 touchdowns, 14 picks, and Jeff George comes in on 3rd and 10. Hit as he throws. The ball is loose, and Wisconsin is on it at the 49.
Illinois' offensive tackles again have no chance in drop back of blocking these defensive ends, and they just got ran over there, and it collapsed. They've got to get the quarterback out of the pocket.
Tyler Johnson got there.
Covered by the defense. 1st and 10, Wisconsin.
Knocked the ball loose. And an unenviable position for Jeff George Jr. When you come in on 3rd and 10, everybody in the house knows you've got to throw. And Wisconsin comes hard, and they get there. Project that is for people who need these animals, and these dogs are just wonderful to have around. Wisconsin will start from midfield. Shaw, the tailback, on 1st down. And they go outside with Cephas on the end around. Picks up about 10 yards.
This is really the only play that Wisconsin has that's misdirection. Fake one way, give it back to the wide receiver coming around. I'd like to see them run a few more counter plays, but obviously they're doing pretty good. But to get down the stretch, they're going to have to deceive the defense pretty much.
Now they're going to say he was out of bounds after gaining only 4. Hornibrook, quick drop, Cephas. And a flag comes in, looks like a late hit. As Cephas was down, James Knight was in on the tackle along with Patrick Nelson.
This is what we're trying to take out of college football right here. Any crossing route, protect the receiver. Here comes a late hit right there. Helmet to face mask. That's definitely targeting.
Personal foul. Targeting. Defense. Number 10. That plays under further review.
They're not going to change this one.
No, you can't lead with the head. You can't tell these kids enough. Take the head out of it. Use your shoulder, but you still can't use the shoulder above the shoulders in crossing routes.
Cephas got hit first by Patrick Nelson, and then that was just evil by Knight. And if he's called for targeting, he'll be out the rest of the game.
He knows what he did. You can see him on the ground grabbing his helmet. It's just instinct to try to put as much pressure on a receiver coming across, but you can't hit with your helmet above the shoulders.
Here are the rules. Dangerous hit that involves launching, upward thrust, or a severe strike. But look at the bottom. Any forcible hit by the crown of the helmet.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Number 10 has been disqualified from the game for targeting. It's a 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
I think he hit all the above on that chart.
I believe he did. So Knight is gone.
And they're hurting at linebacker as it is, Mike. They are trying to find bodies right now to get into the game. Look like Dale Harding's going to replace him, number 9. But we're talking to coaches yesterday, and that 3 weeks ago they were in great shape. It can happen over a matter of a short period of time. Now they're down to their 3rd teamers.
And Harding was out with a head injury. Shaw, room to run, down to the 11-yard line. Ben Shaw was leading the way. This is a really athletic offensive line. Guys who can pull and run. And they're just starting to wear down that Illini defensive front 7, or 8 in most cases.
This is a typical game plan for Wisconsin. Just beat on the defensive line, punish them, make the DBs run, make them tired. As the game goes on, they just take over.
They bring in Groshek. I will say this, they've got a shot at making the playoffs, but only if Hornibrook comes back to the form where we saw him earlier this year.
The deeper they get in their schedule, Michigan, possibly the championship game, they will play teams that can line up and play a 4 or 5 man front and at least stop the run to some point.
Right.
Hornibrook's going to have to be a big factor, in some of these games down the stretch.
3rd and 2 here. Groshek seeing more playing time as the season wears along. That's the call. 1st down and more. Groshek driving inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
It's got to be a luxury to have a kid that was a walk-on to come in and play this kind of position, to help the other running backs out. He's got great leverage and super quickness in the hole.
Now they have 3 guys at that spot that they can count on, starting with their 1,100-yard running back, Jonathan Taylor. Got an injured player down. We'll check on him when we come back.
Last couple of goal line stands, they've tried to force the ball outside.
Kenyon Jackson being walked toward the locker room. Groshek inside the 2. Biadish leading the way again, the center.
This offensive line from Wisconsin is just absolutely pushing over the defensive line. There's several guys that are backups, a couple third-teamers on the defensive line for Illinois right now. They have way too many injuries and a lot of guys tired standing on the sideline right now.
Illinois was really good against a run early, but once that emotion wore off, they have been pounded like everybody else this year. And Groshek, touchdown, Wisconsin.
Just a simple isolation play, and he rolls over the top. He really never even goes down.
Coach, there is very little departure from the philosophy they believe in. Here we come, you try and stop.
Number 45, fullback Allen Ingold. He's the backup fullback. I mean, he is a punisher for lead blocks.
Gaglianone, still perfect for the year. Wisconsin starting to dominate. Kicks off our coverage at 6 Eastern. The game also available on ESPN2.
That should be a great game.
In Spanish. Yes, it should.
That'll be fun to watch.
And they'll start at the 25. And let's go to Adnan. Adnan, thanks very much. Illinois will start from the 25. Foster, the tailback, and he'll get the carry, nowhere to go. Picks up a couple as Jeff George is back in at quarterback. Andrew Van Ginkel was the first man on the stop, number 17. Illinois, if you joined us late, has alternated quarterbacks between Jeff George Jr. and Cam Thomas. They are the second and third quarterbacks to play this year. Chase Crouch, who is now a tight end, started the first 4 games. None of them have had any success. The passing stats are woeful. George on a little roll. Drops it off in the flat complete. They'll pick up enough for a first down. Jeff George, senior quarterback, the Illini, in 88 and 89, passed for over 5,000 yards and 31 scoring passes. He was the first overall pick by the Colts in 1990 and then played 14 seasons in the NFL. In 97, led the league with almost 4,000 yards passing. And one of the great arms of all time. George, pressure coming, got away from it, and rifles one to the sideline. That looked complete, and it was. But what a nice catch by Dudek.
Great athletic play by George. Getting on the outside, Joe Ferguson, number 8, misses the tackle, throws the ball right on the sideline to Dudek. Dudek's got to show up in this game. He's made some big plays this year. That's the first time they've thrown it in his direction.
It's a kid you really root for. As a freshman 3 years ago, he was a freshman All-American. And that looks like a catch. They will review it, but I think that's going to stand. 3 years ago, a freshman All-American, then had 2 separate ACL injuries. When he came back this year, he had gone 981 days between football games. He is a big-time receiver, but has just been devastated by injuries.
I'd say he'd have a good chance to claim that he was rusty after almost 1,000 days of not playing football. I tell you that, and to have the courage after 2 knee injuries to come back and play, just an amazing situation. But a lot of these kids do that. They love football and they love to play, and they'll work through a lot of things to come back and get a chance to play their last few years. Look here at the replay. Does he catch it or doesn't he? Something has to hit out of bounds before the ball touches his hands. It's going to be close. I don't know whether they've got enough information here to be able to turn that around. Ball's in his hands. Maybe it's towel. Who knows?
If the towel counts, you're going to have to show it to me in the record. In the
further
book.
review. The ruin on the field stands. It's reception, first down.
It's a heck of a throw and a heck of a catch. And it's a big play that they needed.
I'd like to see them going back to running the football again, though. Leave their defense on the bench, make some first downs. I know they've completed a couple of passes, but they've got to get a running game. They've only got 29 yards, in 30 yards in passing and 11 yards rushing.
Reggie Corbin, number 2, the new tailback, only has 14 carries this year, as they have been hurt by injuries at that spot, as well as linebacker. Corbin, little sweep, cuts it back. Corbin inside the 35 to the 34. Doug Kramer, a nice block as he pulled from the center spot. Let's go to Adnan. Adnan, thanks very much. Jeff George Jr. trying to lead a drive here. Hands it off to Corbin, the 5'10 sophomore, and he's got enough for a first down at the 32.
2 running plays in a row, get a first down. They continue to run the ball. I think they're going to have a better chance running outside there. Corbin's more of a quick guy getting to the corner. Now Kendrick Foster is the same. He's 5'9". Can't run the ball much inside on these Badgers from Wisconsin.
4:17 on a turning clock first half. It's 14-0 Wisconsin. George, short set. Good throw and a nice catch by Dudek again. That was a good throw by Jeff George Jr. Tyndall made the tackle. It's a gain of 7.
Just a quick slant. Man coverage. Tyndall's a little bit deep off of him. He probably play a little bit closer, but he does give him the inside break on this man coverage.
Any kind of a score would be big here for the Illini. George has hit all 3 of his passes on this drive. Well, that was late And a very dangerous throw as Dante Carrier came up and made it impossible to complete that. It was intended for Dominic Thiemann.
Yeah, Carrier baited him. He played off, then he stops and breaks on, gets his feet in the ground. You've got to come back to that ball. You can't just stop your route knowing that the defender's going to come on. You've got to come back to the football.
That ball is not thrown on target. It's picked the way he jumped that route. Pressure coming. George hangs in the pocket and throws another rifle shot complete to Dudek at the 19-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. And Dudek a little slow to get up.
Officials time. Injured player. Offense.
Oh, you don't want this kid to get hurt. He's been through enough of that.
Inside linebacker blitz. This is the first time they've ran that all day. Just a good route and a good throw, throwing it away from the outside safety. Easy catch. It looked like got a little shaken up on that. Again, that's this kid's gone through a lot. I hope he's able to get back up and continue to play.
Illinois kid who was just gone through so much to get back on the field. And for more on that, here's Paul Carcaterra.
Well, Mike, prior to Mikey Dudek on the turf in that last play, he was limping around quite a bit, and he's still bothered by those knee injuries. I mean, he had 2 consecutive spring balls where he tore his knee up, and I remember following this kid and covering his games as a freshman. He was absolutely dynamic. He had 76 catches, over 1,000 yards. He looked like the college version of Wes Welker in the slot, almost unguardable. So if he gets back to his original form, he will give a huge boost to this Illinois offense. But he's hurting right now and about 10 yards away from me on the bench. Looks like he's holding his side, actually.
A little slow coming off the field.
This cold weather for the first day might probably have a little bit to do with his knees.
That doesn't help, does it? 1st and 10, and Cam Thomas comes into the ball game. He's going to run it inside the 15, inside the 10. And as good as that drive has been going, it seems like an odd time to make a change.
But this is what we expected and heard from the coaches that they were going to do with Cam Thomas. Take the snap, run the RPOs, run option pass, run counters with the quarterback. He's got good speed. He scored from this position last week going to the right side on a quarterback power.
1st and goal. So it's on Thomas's shoulders here. Quarterback draw to the 4. Connor Sheehy made the stop.
All these formations from the spread can really give a defense a problem inside the red zone. Wisconsin's only given up 3 rushing touchdowns this year inside the 10-yard line.
Thomas is out. George back in on 2nd and goal.
That's unusual.
Pressure coming. They got there. The ball's knocked loose on the ground. Was it a pass or a fumble? They're going to say it was a fumble knocked away by Dooley, but recovered by Illinois. Dooley is their best pass rusher. Has 5.5 sacks on the year. Now it's 3rd and goal, and George stays on the field. Holding his head as he went down on that one.
Offensive tackles cannot block these outside linebackers. They haven't done it all day.
Pressure coming. Pass for the end zone. Tipped and incomplete. Dominic Thiemann had a shot at it, but Nelson was there.
Again, Nelson lets the receiver inside on the goal line. You've got to have inside leverage. Levin's got to be inside. Nick Nelson, he's one of the better cover guys. Ball thrown a little lower, it's probably a touchdown.
McLaughlin will come on. That's a win for Wisconsin, forcing the field goal attempt. He will try from 28 yards. He's hit 10 out of 13 this year. Knocks it through, and Illinois gets on the board. Now for our answer to the Aflac trivia question, when was the last time Illinois beat a top 5 team? And we take you back to 2007 when they knocked off number 1 Ohio State in Illinois, or in Columbus. Illinois knocks off the Buckeyes, spurred by the passing and running of Juice Williams, to claim their second win over a top 5 team for the season, and it would end them playing in the Rose Bowl game.
Ron Zook getting the Gatorade, and I still to this day cannot believe that they let him go, because he had things really going here at Illinois, and I'm sure they've thought a few minutes about that ever since they let that happen with all the losing seasons they've had since.
He had the only 3 winning seasons in the last 15 years, so somebody decided that expectations had now risen to the point where he wasn't doing enough, and they got rid of him, and ever since they have been in the dump. .39 seconds to go. The ball taken by A.J. Taylor at the 1. And Taylor takes it up across the 30 to the 31. Here's Adnan.
A.J. Taylor will return for Wisconsin. Tuning on the stop for the line. A 29-yard return for Wisconsin.
It's a dramatic turn for the Michigan Ball Club. Now let's see what Wisconsin would like to do with 32 seconds left. Been a tough day for Hornibrook so far.
What's the halftime?
Hornibrook to throw, good protection. Rifles this one out to midfield. Good throw by Hornibrook that time. Complete to Kendrick Pryor. Gain of 20. And now they've got enough time to operate and enough space.
Trying to get the ball in the middle of the field on the post route. Good protection. He's got all day to let the receiver get deeper down the field. Excellent job. Watch the route right here. He comes off. He pushes the defender to the outside, runs the post. Easy throw, easy catch. They're trying to get their 3 points back in a 30-second time frame.
Coach, I noticed one thing Hornibrook is doing today. He is really staring down his receiver.
Yeah, you know, we noticed that about a month and a half ago at BYU. And most of the time what they do is they run half-field routes going to one side, and usually you can't get your eye off the receiver. Here they're going, again, they've got to get about 20, 25 more yards to have a chance. They've got the wind behind them. Probably come back and run something down the middle.
They have 2 timeouts left. Gaglianone has a long of 46 this year. He's hit 7 out of 9. Career long of 51. He'll be kicking with the wind if he gets a shot. Hornibrook, deep and overthrown, intended for Pryor. And you've seen how important they think Pryor is to their passing game. He's been targeted several times in this one.
Watch to the left side, though. You'll see a little come into the left side there on Michael Dieter. He lets the guy come inside the block. Almost got to him, but he had pressure in his face. I can understand that throw.
.19 seconds on the clock. Need to get maybe to the 33. Dump it off underneath. And they're down to the 35 with 11 seconds on the clock. A little pushing and shoving after again. Paul Chryst yelling out instructions, what he wants to have happen, and he'll use a timeout. I I think he wanted Hornibrook to clock the ball and save the timeout.
But he really doesn't have enough time anyway. He's got 11 seconds. You clock it, you take a couple of seconds off. Now he's got a chance to
3.
Now he's got a chance to throw an out route, maybe get 5 more yards, call a timeout. Don't take timeouts to the dressing room with you in a 2-minute situation. Always use them. Get your players fresh. Everybody communicates, know what they're doing. Try to work on your 2-minute drill.
ESPN app is something you really need if you're a college football fan. You can stream every ESPN and ABC game live at home or on any of your devices on the go. You get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Why wouldn't you have the ESPN app? Get it? Start streaming everything now. 11 seconds left, 1 timeout. And they want to run it. They'll get about 3, and that's it. Ibrahim with the carry and a timeout with 2 seconds to go. So Paul Chryst says that's what we needed, 2-3 yards. Let's kick a field goal.
Obviously, the kicker likes to kick from the right hash. They made that call. They got to the 34. You call 33, Mike, so we'll see how your prediction was a little earlier on the distance. Got a little wind.
Gaglianone's got to be thinking, you could have gained another 5.
It's a good job of the 2-minute drill, moving it down about 30 yards with 35 seconds to go.
Little wind at his back.
Ball's a little hard, too. Again, the first
Yes, it
time
is.
cold weather.
Yep.
It's always a little different. And it usually starts with the snap and the holder holding a cold ball.
We said his career long is 52.
Timeout, Illinois. First of the half. 30
And
seconds.
Illinois will try to freeze the kicker. There are 6 Power 5 unbeaten teams in the country. One of them is idle. Everybody's consensus number 1, that's Alabama. The only underdog here, number 2, Penn State, a touchdown underdog at Ohio State.
I think the Florida-Georgia game is going to be interesting. Georgia has really not played anybody tough since Notre Dame. And so they're on a neutral field. Their running back should be ready to go. But I tell you, Florida always plays well in this game.
It is one of the great rivalries of all time. Everybody gets lubricated early at the old Gator Bowl.
Timeout, Illinois. For second and a half. You got 30 seconds. Time charged out.
Illinois refreezes the kicker.
Literally freezing them.
Yep. Well, one of the unbeatens that we have for you, number 4 undefeated TCU against number 25 Iowa State. A big game at Ames. Got to be happy for Iowa State. They've been down so long. Now they're in the top 25. Chance to show the world today. The Horned Frogs, however, have won the last 4 against the Cyclones, 7-1 against them all time. 3:30 Eastern, 12 Pacific. It's either on ABC or ESPN. If you don't want to check the channel, just get the ESPN app. That way you don't have to worry about it. Try to match his career long here, Will Gaglianone, 52 yards.
Timeout, Illinois. That's our final charge. Timeout at half.
They need to change this rule. This is just silly.
Well, they're trying to freeze him. Obviously, it is cold. But remember now, Illinois has blocked 2 field goals this year. I think they lead the country. 2 field goals and an extra point. Yeah, and so they're pretty good at getting off and getting penetration. But again, this is all about the kicker getting into his head, legs cold. It's tough. I've had people call timeout on me as if you snap the ball, and that to me, once you get a hold of the ball, you shouldn't be able to call timeout.
Well, Gaglianone, big boy, 5'11", 232. Line drive is good. He is 8 out of 10 for the year and matches. Welcome back to Homecoming at Illinois. Mike Patrick, Tommy Tuberville, Paul Carcaterra is with us. Illinois used its emotion early and really handled Wisconsin's running game for 3 series, and then Wisconsin started to dominate again.
Well, this running game for Wisconsin wears anybody down. They just keep pounding. Jonathan Taylor is 6.1 yards per carry, 77 yards, and it just absolutely takes a toll on your front 7. Now they're losing linebackers right and left. They've lost defensive linemen. Illinois has actually played decent. You know, they've done a good job of staying in the game, but they've made a couple mistakes. Wisconsin looks real ragged. As Paul Chryst said, our team's not playing very well. We're sloppy. Well, they picked up where they left off the last few weeks. We'll see what they do the second half.
Kendrick Foster is the deep man as Illinois will get the ball first, down 17-3. Hintz will kick it away. Wind has shifted, at least momentarily. He's kicking with the wind. And knocks it 7 yards deep. Illinois will start at the 25. Now let's take a look at the blimp-worthy play brought to you by Goodyear.
This is the lead block by the fullback. Jonathan Taylor is picking up where he's left off every game, 77 yards. Yards after contact. Missed tackles. You've got to put your shoulder pad on him or you're not going to bring him down. And they've played other running backs that's played just as well. We'll see Jonathan Taylor probably the first couple of drives this half and see what happens. The offensive line still is the key for their season.
Jeff George Jr. opens the second half at quarterback. He was the starter. Alternated throughout the game with Cam Thomas in and out. Foster, nice cut to get to the outside. Foster running hard over the 40, taken down by Nelson, but after a gain of 18 yards.
Good opening play. They just absolutely destroyed the right side right here. Look at that. Garrett Dooley is normally a physical guy. He gets kicked out. There's nobody there. They've got a defensive tackle playing the inside gap. He gets into the secondary. That usually doesn't happen against this team. They usually force the ball to the sideline.
Four-man front. They come with 4. George throws behind his intended receiver, incomplete. Let's go to Clark.
Well, Mike, I know you said it turned out to be a nice day. 70 and sunny up in the booth, 38 degrees down here. It's windy too, but I caught up with both coaches. Paul Chryst defensively said the key is to continue to mix up defensive pressure. So they'll send blitzes and do things to rattle these young quarterbacks for Illinois. Lovie Smith, on the other hand, said if they get protection, they can get it to their skill players. But keep in mind, 4 freshman offensive linemen for the Illini.
Clark loved the hat. Styling today. Foster trying to get to the outside, swallowed up by T.J. Edwards.
T.J. Edwards hadn't shown up much today. That's the first time he's really been in on a single tackle. Again, just a quick play the outside, trying to outrun Wisconsin. They're not going to do that. And they had a corner fire on the backside. He could have actually pulled it out, but with a corner fire, he had to let it go and wasn't anything there.
3rd and 14. Four wideouts, 3 to the near side. Blitz coming. George with time. Deep out, intended for Smalling, and can't make the catch. Nelson was there. Smalling is a kid who will tell you he can catch every pass that you throw to him. The offensive coordinator, Garrick McGee, said Smalling and Dorsey, who we have not heard from today.
Great teaching point to teach corners. Get your hands inside and rip up on the ball.
And he did.
And he did a great job right here. Good job of Nick Nelson. You know, he is really one of their better corners that they've had the last few years and a good cover guy.
But McGee says both of these guys walk that thin line between confidence and arrogance. He just doesn't want them to cross that line. 45-yard punt tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC or ESPN2. Check your local listings. Is Georgia Tech against number 7 Clemson, trying to bounce back. and Texas squaring off against number 10 Oklahoma. You can watch both those games. All you have to do is download the ESPN app. Here are the guys we have picked for Heisman candidates. I think it's a two-man race between Barkley and Mayfield, and all three of us have Barkley as the favorite.
I think Jalen Hurts is going to make a run at the end as good as they are. I really do. I think he's going to make a run at it because it's hard to keep a guy out this quarterback doing what he's doing.
Shaw starts the second half at tailback. No word on Taylor. He hasn't played in the last two drives. And he's got the heavy jacket on.
Wisconsin's outscored their opponent in the second half 136-34. It's going to be a tough road for Illinois.
Fake to Shaw. Hornibrook throws on the run, and he's got his tight end, Neville. Flag is down, however.
Xander Neville is their receiving tight end. They say he has great hands, but he's also turned into a pretty good blocker.
Holding. Defense. Number 1. Penalties decline. First down.
Jalen Dunlap, the corner, and Wisconsin has just dominated everybody in the second half. 136-34, a scoring advantage.
And their defense has scored 18 of those 136 points. They really turned it up in the second half on defense.
Shaw continues at tailback. If we get any word on Taylor, we'll let you know. Shaw out across the 40. It's about a yard shy of a first down. Kark, what do you have?
Well, Mike, in the second quarter, Jonathan Taylor had his left ankle retaped, and it didn't look like anything serious. However, it's a nagging injury right now. His return, I'm being told, is questionable. Now, this is a backfield with Taylor gone. Starting fullback Austin Ramish, he is out for the entire game with an undisclosed injury. Alec Engold, his backup, we saw score a touchdown. He's been doing a great job blocking, but Taylor obviously would be a massive loss.
Well, you would think if it's just a precautionary thing as they run Shaw for a first down, you can't imagine that they would have to play him in the second half of this game. So why not hold him out?
Jonathan Taylor's carried the ball 155 times this year. That's a lot of snaps,
yes,
for a young kid through 8 games. And he's got a lot of tough games coming up. If I was the head coach, I would be resting him, probably have him inside getting a massage right now.
Groshek will check in. He's been used a lot today. Taylor doesn't come back and score. It would be the first game he didn't have a rushing touchdown this year. Pressure on Hornibrook, and down he goes at the 35. Good coverage in the secondary. Cephas is downfield talking to the referee saying he was held. Not going to win that argument.
And again, for the second time today, Michael Dieter, number 63, the left tackle, lets a guy get inside of him right here on the bottom of the screen. Doesn't keep his shoulders squared. Make the guy go the outside of it. Never let a defensive lineman come inside on the pass rush because it's the shortest route to the quarterback.
And that was Tito Adenabo, whose brother played at Northwestern and whose father graduated from engineering school at Illinois. Groshek back to the 39. They have to reach the 45 of Illinois for a first down, so it's going to be third and a bunch for Hornibrook.
Got themselves in a little bit of a bind here.
1,000 yards rushed by freshmen in the first 7 games. Jonathan Taylor did it a week ago. Look at the first 3 guys on this list. Emmitt Smith, Marshall Faulk, and Adrian Peterson. You would take any one of those guys and take it to the bank. Hornibrook screen underneath. And that won't get nearly enough yardage out to the 48-yard line as Bennett Williams was there. Ibrahim made the catch coming out of the backfield. They'll have to punt it away.
Good job out of the line out there, making them punt. Obviously, the sack was a turning factor, but again, the offensive line continues to play sloppy on pass protection.
Lottie to punt to Turner. Illinois, by the way, honoring Red Grange with their Gray Ghost uniforms today for homecoming. 41-yard return. There is the Galloping Ghost of Illinois, Red Grange. Galloping Ghost number 77 for this school. One of the great names in the history of college football. Illinois takes over deep in its own territory. Jeff George Jr. comes out throwing and throws in double coverage, incomplete. It has been, except for one sequence, it has been a tough day to throw the football for Jeff George Jr. and Cam Thomas. And there is senior, the number 1 overall draft pick in 1990, played 14 seasons in the National Football League after starring here for 2 years. Quarterbacks combined today, 5 out of 19, 72 yards and a pick.
Garrett McGee is seeing something on first down on that fade route. That's 3 times they've thrown it on first down.
Cam Thomas checks in. Quarterback will run all the way. He'll pick up about 3 before Garrett Dooley gets him.
There's Garrett McGee. He's done a good job of kind of getting an offense and putting it all together and staying with it. He hadn't had a lot of success, and a lot of times young coordinators change quite often. Teach these young kids one offense, stay with it. You know you're not very good. You got a lot of young players. Go with it, teach it, and try to execute it.
How much success can you have with 3 true freshmen on the offensive line, a redshirt freshman, and 1 junior? If you can't block on the offensive line, everything else follows. Pressure. Quarterback keeper, first down and more. Good run by Thomas.
I'm going to have to question the call on that. They ran an overload blitz into the boundary. You see the linebackers go into the boundary. They leave running lanes for a running quarterback. Just defend him. Don't pressure a quarterback that doesn't have any experience. Defend a young quarterback. Pressure an experienced quarterback.
I like that. You must have been a head coach for a long time somewhere.
I was a defensive coordinator a lot longer.
Thomas, a kid they feel in the future can be dominant. He is a leader. Let's check in with Adnan Virk. Adnan, I'd follow you anywhere, my man. 2nd and 13. Thomas is not made for these situations.
No, his best attribute is running the football out of a drop back, not throwing it.
Under pressure. Gets away, but not from the second man, taken down at the 15. Dooley made a move to start with, and then Alex James finished it up with his 3rd sack of the season.
4 true offensive linemen trying to block a bunch of juniors and seniors with a lot of speed. The kid moved out of the pocket. Cam Thomas has got to understand, if he's going to be a drop back passer, he's got to stay in the pocket. You get out of it, you're on your own.
Dooley leads the team with those 6.5 sacks. Thomas facing 3rd and 21. He's completed 1 pass for 29 yards. Has a pick and 1 out of 7. Throws underneath. That's going to be complete, but not for much territory. Complete to Dorsey, the big tight end. That's his first catch of the year, 2nd catch of the day. Let's go to Clark.
Well, Mike, Garrett McGee's offense will have to make plays without their 2 best playmakers on the outside. Ricky Smalling was just walking into the locker room, then Mikey Dudek is out for the remainder of the game. We saw him go down late in that 2nd quarter. he is not going to return. So Cam Thomas will have to use those legs. They say he's the fastest guy in the team. He's going to be running from this defense the whole second half.
And Clark, those guys that are out, 2 of the 3 top receivers on this ball club, so the cupboard is almost bare again. 42-yard punt, 17-3. You like pumpkins? We got pumpkins.
Goes well with the Ben Hogan hat, right?
What kind of costume are you going to wear, Paul?
Well, Mike, trying to figure that out. I've got, what, 3-4 days until trick-or-treating?
Yes, you do.
Figure something out with the teeth.
Cephas on the end around. Have some time to get dental work before then. Stanley Green makes the stop. Some of us, of course, getting an early start. Stanley Green, the safety, has already made 9 tackles in this game. Straight up the middle for about 3. Delshawn Phillips with the stop on Ingold, or excuse me, Shaw. Third and 5. Jonathan Taylor, a spectator in the second half, and now we do not expect to see him. Hornibrook, good throw this time. And a terrific effort by Cephas to get that extra couple of yards for a first down.
That's experience from a receiver. He knows where the first down marker's at. He cut his route off a little short, but he knew he had to get that lunge and use his legs. Good possession.
Leads them in yards per catch, touchdown catches. Only a sophomore out of Macon, Georgia. Time of possession is a big deal for Wisconsin. Earlier in the game, they had a 3-1 advantage. Now only 6 minutes overall. Pressure coming. Hornibrook gets rid of it too high. Check in with Adnan, our leader. As well you should be. Second and 10 from the 38. Much as they run, the clock just winds and winds and winds. We're down to 3:35. And a very conservative running play to Groshek. We've not seen him as a Wildcat quarterback today. They haven't broken out that formation.
He's going to get his career carries today, though.
Yes,
with Jonathan Taylor on the sideline. He's getting his career day of running the football. Former walk-on, former high school quarterback.
He and Shaw getting the bulk of the action now. Jonathan Taylor tweaked an ankle, and Chris James was already hurt. Hornibrook throws underneath. That ball came loose. Looked like it was incomplete, and it will be. Intended for Pryor.
Play action pass, 3 receiver route, 1 short, outside receiver under, inside receiver runs the defender off. Good execution, didn't catch the ball. Probably one of his better throws.
Should have made that catch. So far, I think you have to say, Tommy, this has been a very unimpressive performance by Wisconsin. Lottie to punt it away. Very short. Gets a great bounce for the Badgers, however. All the way down to the 18-yard line. Went further on the ground than it did in the air.
currently a senior research scientist at the Beckman Institute. And we will go back to me in just a second. I want to show you the technology of this helmet. It's fascinating.
Jeff George Jr. stays on the field. They hand it off. They get about a yard out of that. Back to you, Clark.
Well, Mike, here's the cryo helmet, and what you see here with this technology, there's actually ice packs embedded in the helmet. What it does, just like when you hurt your ankle, you put ice on that ankle right away. This goes right on your head and reduces the swelling in your brain. So it's a tremendous, innovative piece by Kevin Jackson.
George on the roll. Threw a good strike, but it's incomplete, in and out of the hands. The receiver, Malik Turner, couldn't hold it. Let's go to Adnan. Adnan, thanks. And back to Clark's report with that cryo helmet. Anything that they can come up with that reduces the injury that these guys are suffering is a great thing. The pass underneath, complete to Turner, but he's going to be shy of a first down, and there is a flag down as well. Chris Orr was in on the stop.
I think Orr got a little bit much of the jersey.
Pointing toward the Wisconsin side.
Holding. Defense. Number 54. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And that was Chris Orr. Wisconsin very rarely penalized.
When man coverage here, he jumps and he takes away the outside route, gives him inside, but now he's got to undercut him. He tries to, but he hooks him with the back arm.
Sure did. Orr, a junior, a 3-year starter at that linebacker spot. Teammates say that every once in a while. They just tell him to shut up because he never stops talking. Pressure coming on George. Throws into a crowd and it's incomplete. Throwing for Crouch, the former quarterback. Now playing tight end.
Going back to the previous play, you're going to see the pass protection of these 4 young offensive linemen. And I'm tell you, that's what's happened most of the day. And the pass rush has been there. Georgia's had to throw it real quick just to get it off.
Great spin move by Tyler Johnson. Second and 10, they'll pick up about 4. Corbin carrying the ball. True freshman, redshirt freshman, junior, true freshman. Throw in the tight end, there's another true freshman.
Nick Allegretti, the junior, he's the leader of the bunch. Obviously, he's going to have to do a lot of leading with this young group.
3rd and 5. George under pressure, hit as he throws, had a man wide open, and he got it to him. Malik Turner. Nice throw by Jeff George Jr. under pressure. Andrew Van Ginkel had a free run at him.
Same route we saw earlier in the game, just a corner route. They cleared out on the bottom. And the corners continue. The corner's got to run. Derek Tindall has got to run with this guy. You can see Tindall at the top of the screen. He has got to drop. He doesn't run with that crossing route. He's got to drop off in the zone. That's zone coverage.
It's the same pattern that was wide open for what would have been a touchdown earlier. Corbin spins out of 1 tackle and then driven back. And that could be and will be the last play of the 3rd quarter, as Illinois is in no hurry to snap it. 3 quarters in the books, and Wisconsin is on top 17-3. hope. But it's getting to be about that time of year. Big third down here for the Illinois offense. Or second down, maybe, excuse me. Now it's a big third down.
The one guy I like to watch play on the Wisconsin's football team is, and he doesn't start very many games, but his name is Brian Connolly, number 44. He is all over the field. He's actually an undersized linebacker, and he is in almost every play.
Very athletic kid, very active. Third and 6. The second half has been mostly Jeff George Jr. Now it's 4th and 6. About time to go for something here, Coach?
Yeah, it could do it. Nick Nelson got away with it right here. He lets his receiver get inside of him on man coverage and continue to come over his back. I think I would go for it right here.
Well, this gets it to a 2-score game, but you still need 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Into the wind, too.
No good. So it stays at a 14-point spread. Not going right for Illinois. In the state of Illinois, more than 80 vets, including faculty members and specialists in training, see patients at the Veterinary Teaching Hospital. Wisconsin takes over. And they're coming out doing what they do best. Bradford Shaw carries off the right side. If you joined us late, Jonathan Taylor has been on the sideline. Their 1,000-yard back got that mark a week ago in only his 7th game. Chris James is also hurt. So it's been Shaw and Groshek. We've also lost Ramish, their starting fullback, so they're a little thin right now. Shaw dumped. And let's go to Adnan Verk. All right, thanks, Adnan. Mountaineers were supposed to put up a tougher fight today.
Both teams can score a lot of points. You never know.
3rd and 5. Hornibrook wants to throw for it. Has time, rifles that one incomplete. Been a tough day for Hornibrook. Tough day for any quarterback that's coming to game, and that, for that matter.
And Fumagalli, you know, he's his favorite target. He stared him down all the way. He was actually getting held in the middle of the field. He tried to rifle it in there, but no chance you can catch a ball that fast, that close in this kind of weather.
Paul Christ frustrated a little bit. Hornibrook only 8 out of 17 for 100 yards. Lottie on to kick it away. Taken by Turner. And Turner makes a couple of guys miss, but not enough. 50-yard punt, 8-yard return. Coming up, we'll follow Paul Carcaterra on campus with offensive lineman Nick Allegretti. Let's see who wins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Carc, Tommy and I had the under, and the under was 5 seconds.
You're smart.
Tell you what, when somebody out doubles your weight, good luck. New quarterback back in, and Thomas with the pass and completes. Chris Orr putting the pressure on. Let's go back to Carc.
Mike, Nick Allegretti, what a great kid. Loves his family, his Italian food, his mom's spaghetti pie, and wrestling. He literally almost snapped my neck. He's got a vice grip like a grizzly bear. Just a wonderful, wonderful time spent with Nick Allegretti. For the full conversation, go on to that ESPN app and the Illinois Clubhouse.
I got to give you points for guts. He's 320, you're 185.
Yes, and if he could pin me in the under, what do you think he'd do to Tuberville? 1 second?
Tuberville wants to take you on.
Yeah.
I think the only person Tuberville could take is probably Steve Turnberger, our director. Other than that, he has no shot against anyone.
Well, he's a lot of talk on that sideline that Ben Hogan had.
He's a long way away.
Yeah, he's a long way. He's got to walk home.
3rd and 2. If you're an Illinois fan, there is still hope.
You got to run quarterback draw here. There's nobody in the middle of the field for 2 yards.
That's exactly what they're going to run. Straight up the middle, first down and more. Thomas, big game. Uh-oh. Slow to get up. He may have landed on the ball.
I have no clue what Wisconsin was thinking on defense. Playing a 4-man front, no linebackers, and it's an easy call. And they call it from the sideline. Well, as they fold back, Allegretti's got the lead block. There's nobody for him to block on the line of scrimmage.
He's out there looking for Paul Carcaterra. He found somebody in a white jersey instead.
Oh, my goodness.
Thomas says, I'm all right. First down, Illini. Thomas now wants to throw deep out into traffic. Should have been picked. Awful pass. Natrell Jamerson was right there. That was a gift, and he turned it down.
That was a pick six written all over it. Yeah, I think they tell him just to throw to one certain guy. He's covered one underneath, one over the top. Not even close.
He's got no chance.
And Natrell Jamerson, he's going to look at that tomorrow in the film room and going, why did I do that?
He had one picked earlier on the same kind of thing where he just stared down his receiver and took forever for the ball to get there. 2nd and 10. Up the middle with Foster. He'll get a few. Leon Jacobs with the tackle. Let's go to Adnan.
They get a 6-yard replay. 3rd and 4 for the Illini.
Well, every time I think I've got this game figured out who's going to win, who's going to lose, I am dead wrong. Who's even going to be competitive? I mean, look at this game. This is the number 5 team in the country. There goes Thomas against a team that hasn't been able to get out of its own way, and Illinois is still in it.
I've always said this. They look like men on the field. They're 18, 19 years old. Watch this. He drops back. There's nowhere to go. So he just goes to the outside. He finds his hole. This is what he should have been doing all day. Spread him out. Let him run the football. This is a pretty good job here now of him executing what he can do.
Thomas, almost identical running marks to last week when he made his debut. He had 10 for 79 today, 10 for 78. It has been an adventure when he tried to throw the ball. Foster, last year's leading rusher, getting a chance to play today because of injuries. Jamerson submarined him and took it down, but it's a gain of 6 yards, maybe 7.
Good move to the outside. Natrell Jamerson's going to have to lock up, not just go in there and try to knock his legs out underneath him. A lot of guys will jump over the top. Defense from Wisconsin's playing good enough to keep him out, but not very good to play championship football.
Corbin. Flag is down as well. That might be a horse collar.
Holding. Offense.
No.
Number 19. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Trying to block on the outside. Lewis Dorsey, the true freshman tight end. That's a huge penalty.
Yeah, they like him. He's not as aggressive. He's more of a receiving tight end. You can see he's got him, Van Winkle, wrapped up there. That's pretty easy for a referee to see. He's responsible for the tight end of that side and the tackle, and that's all he looks at.
So the penalty makes it 2nd and 14. Thomas, another pass underthrown and intercepted, taken by Joe Ferguson, his 2nd pick of the year. Barry Alvarez, the athletic director's grandson, had limited playing time throughout his career, forced to play today because Dakota Dixon was injured, and he is right there. Another awful throw from Thomas. Illinois, let's take a look back with our Buick Drive recap. And it was Thomas with a pretty good start. The young man can certainly run. It's what they like most about him. But when he throws the ball, it's an equal opportunity pass. 2 picks, should have been a 3rd. And you just can't put it up for grabs like that. So Wisconsin takes over at its own 42. And Shaw runs into an offensive lineman, stops his momentum, and goes down. Wisconsin right now can start looking at the clock, which is at 8:19. That's their best friend right now. Paul Chryst is not going to be happy about this one later tonight. Hornibrook, short set, completes the pass. Good throw, and he went to old reliable Quintez Cephas. First time Wisconsin, Tommy, has crossed the 50-yard line this half.
That's amazing. They're just trying to get out of here with a win. They're playing 3 tight ends in the game most of the time in the last couple of drives. But I've noticed Hornibrook throws the ball a lot better. He's left-handed, throws a lot better to the left side. He really throws that slant well. But everybody else that's going to play them the rest of the year is going to notice that too.
Sure. Hornibrook on a roll. As time throws, Fumagalli. Nice throw, good catch. Gain of 24. He's got the luxury with this running game of being able to throw when they call passes on 1st down or 2nd and short. Doesn't have to drop back on 3rd and 14 very much.
Most people are not going to let him get that wide and have that long to throw that cross-country route, as we call, from a wide receiver or a tight end. Fumagalli is his #1 target. He will be a high draft choice one day when he comes out.
You see Gesicki tonight for Penn State. Loaded with skill guys. Let's go to Adnan.
Again, a 2 yards in the play. 2nd and 8 for Wisconsin.
Adnan, thanks very much. We're down to 6 minutes and 14 seconds and counting. Wisconsin taking their sweet time. They are within field goal range. If they get that, it would make it 20-3 and a 3-score game. Illinois loads the line of scrimmage, trying to get outside. Groshek. Nice move, 1st down and more. They had everybody in the box, and Groshek cut it outside.
Excellent stiff arm by Groshek. He just breaks the outside again. He's got very good speed. Once he hits the corner, look at the burst. Good stiff arm. Stay in bounds.
Jimmy Marquez, a backup linebacker, got a stiff arm, couldn't make the play. He's a walk-on. Started a couple of weeks ago, made 9 tackles when he was out there. But they have been so beaten up at the linebacker spot. Groshek again drilled as he got down to the 3. Delshawn Phillips, who had been out with a shoulder injury, is back and playing. Taylor, injured an ankle, didn't look serious. And he's been standing the whole time, so it probably isn't serious. But they had to make the determination they did not need him for the rest of this game. Chris James was out at the beginning with a leg injury, so they have been down to Shaw and Groshek, and they've done the job for the most part. Groshek again. Good tackle. Good solid play by Phillips, the leading tackler on this club coming in. But Wisconsin very content to let the clock run. 4:28 and counting.
Pretty easy for defensive coordinator. They know that they're not going to throw the ball. They want to run the clock. They could get a play action here, but I'd be surprised. Take 3 points.
Woody Hayes used to say, when you throw the ball, 2 bad things and 1 good thing can happen. He didn't like it.
Pretty good coach.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So we got a timeout with 4:03 left in the game. Big third down coming up. Some Illinois fans still have a little energy left. Most have vacated the premises. 3rd and goal. Hornibrook, it's a throwback screen. Blockers in front. Touchdown. And it is Michael Dieter, the left tackle. Something he will always remember. How about that?
They have been working on that play, I promise you, since he's been at Wisconsin, and it worked out perfect. It was set up. They really didn't have to block anybody. It's just like a throwback screen. They caught him in man coverage is what happened. They didn't cover him because obviously he didn't look like he was going out for a pass, and it worked pretty nice.
Dieter will be texting until 4 o'clock in the morning. Anybody he has ever known is going to get a text saying, "Did you see my touchdown?" And I don't blame him.
Well-designed play. Again, it's only for man coverage. It's not for zone. You see the end man on the line of scrimmage, 63. He fakes blocking. Quarterback's got to sell it, sprint out to the right. Look at the steel curtain going back to the backside. All of his buddies are saying, you better get in the end zone on this, because they didn't block anybody after somebody recognized it.
And that was a backwards pass, so it's a rush for Dieter.
And it's got to be a backwards pass with number 63.
Big man knew what to do with it.
Yeah, he was a little rusty on the spike here, but I'd like to see a little bit better dance too. But you can see all of his buddies there. They're all together, and that is a dream come true for an offensive lineman.
Delshawn Phillips, number 3, may have made a career decision when he missed that tackle. They're going to have to slap that smile off his face. Good for him.
Yeah, the plane flight home will be a lot of fun. And of course, they will dissect that tomorrow in the game, in the film room. All the offensive linemen will be giving their comments and
show it about 12 times, right?
Yep. And they had 4 linemen out there blocking, and one guy came through and nobody touched him. And they're going.
That should pretty much wrap this one up. 24-3. And questions will be raised about the viability of Wisconsin as a playoff team after this ball game. Not so much for Penn State and Ohio State. A lot will be settled tonight. Michigan State still in the mix. And Wisconsin still the odds-on favorite to walk away with the West and make it to the Big Ten championship game. So any question marks people have about Wisconsin could be settled then.
And the team they'll play in the championship game probably will come from the 2 tonight that will play. So that'll be a great game to watch.
Only 3:54 to go. And George will remain on. He is their only real passing threat. That was intended for Ricky Smalling, who had been out earlier, covered by Dante Carrier.
There's Michael Dieter again over there. He's talking about that. He is.
He's saying now when we get to the Big Ten championship game, we might want to run this earlier and give me a chance. Straight up the middle goes Kendrick Foster.
Got a lot of backups in now for Wisconsin on defense. But I promise you one thing, the group over on the side of the first team defense is up there cheering. They had better not score a touchdown.
Connolly's still on the field, so those little thin at linebacker anyway. Jeff George Jr. back shoulder throw, good catch by Smalling that time. In the last two games, he had great efforts, 13 catches, 182 yards, but held totally in check today.
Just a good move from the line of scrimmage for the wide receiver. Could have been holding right there, back shoulder pass, but they call it back shoulder, but usually it's an underthrown pass. It is a lot easier for the receiver to see the ball than the defensive back.
Yeah, Carrier never found it. Pressure coming, and George is thrown to the ground back at the 47. Andrew Van Ginkel gets his 4th sack of the season. And that's 4 sacks for this team today.
They've only given 1 touchdown up in the last 13 and a half quarters, Wisconsin defense. So their defensive players on the sideline are really cheering the defense on.
Not a whole lot positive you can say about the Illinois Ball Club today and what they did. They got off to a good start using the emotion, maybe of homecoming, and held Wisconsin's ground game in check. But after that, the floodgates pretty much open.
I think they're going to do more harm than good for the rest of the season if they don't pick a starting quarterback and let them play. They won't get any better. Now, they'll find out a little bit more about Cam Thomas, but I would play one or the other, build for the future, because Jeff George is just a sophomore. He's going to be around for a while, too.
I mean, basically, there's a flag. That's going to be on Carrier. I mean, basically, what this comes down to is how you think you can possibly move the ball. If you want to throw it, it's got to be Jeff George. If you're going to run it, it's got to be Cam Thomas.
Pass interference, defense, number 29, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, you've got to be running 2 different offenses for both of these guys. Jeff George is a drop-back guy. He can get out of the pocket and throw it some. You got to create some kind of running game. They have no running game whatsoever. And anything that they've done today has been a throw to the outside. There's been no really passing concepts of working 3 guys deep and trying to pick the right receiver out that's open. So I just think that they've got to make some kind of decision this week and, hey, let's go with this guy. We can do that, all this stuff in spring practice and work the other guy. But I'd pick one guy out and go with him and let the other team rally around that quarterback.
You see the numbers trying to pass and the futility that Thomas has experienced. Had 2 picked, should have been a 3rd. First down here. George. Ooh. They're just teeing off now.
Yeah, look out block. Not blocking anybody. Oluwe Songapulo.
Very nice, by the way, Tom. 57 is James.
Watch his get off. Watch his get off right here. And again, the right guard, you know, Allegretti is probably their best offensive lineman. But what happens is, you know, your best guy usually tries to cover for other people, and he loses his technique.
Sure. And he's the only one who is not a freshman or a redshirt freshman up front. Illinois is going to fall to 2-6, 0-5 in the Big Ten. Only 9 seniors on this ball club, and they have truly gone with freshmen. 14 true freshmen have started. No other Big Ten team has had more than 4 guys start. They've had as many as 10 start in one game. 21 true freshmen have played.
And the key is Lovie Smith's got a 6-year contract, now 5 years, and they've got to stick with him. You know, you can't be moving coaches in and out.
George sets up the little dump-off pass to Corbin. They knew the pressure was coming, and a little safety valve there. Dakota Dixon unable to play today. Said he had right leg tightness before the game. Very valuable senior member of the secondary. Pressure coming on. George throws for the end zone. That might be offensive interference. Not sure. Smalling against Nelson. Because Nelson went down. Did he hold before?
Pass interference. Defense, number 11. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Being called on the Hawaii transfer.
One-on-one pass coverage. Defensive back will have to turn his back. That is offensive pass interference.
Boy,
how do you blow that? I don't understand that.
I mean, Smalling was obviously pushing off, and Nelson went down, and they called it on Nelson. Can Illinois take advantage of the gift? George rifles one incomplete. That was intended for Smalling, and Nelson was there again.
He's working on the left side. Right tackle got away with a hold that time. I mean, absolutely pulled the defensive end down. I don't know what the referee was looking at, but it was a tackle, a clean tackle. One of the better tackles we've seen today. You can tell the defensive players, again, they are very adamant on trying to be the best defense in the country. This goes toward their stats also, the starters.
Second and goal. They show pressure and come with a little toss. That's going to be an easy touchdown. Kendrick Foster getting a chance to play today because of injuries. Gets his first touchdown of the season after scoring 7 a year ago.
Just man coverage. And when you have man coverage, the end man on the line of scrimmage, this blitzing has to go to the pitch man. This is the speed option. See, he goes late. He takes a bad angle. Garrett,
caught inside, didn't have a chance.
Yep, he will get chewed out tomorrow because they had the play stopped. He just did not play his technique and didn't go to his guy.
Really assisted by a poor call on a pass interference play.
Yeah, by the backside judge should have actually called that. He's standing right there looking at it, but the back judge wanted to get involved.
So it's 24-10. Smalling against Nelson on this play. And watch Smalling push off.
Actually pretty good coverage. And the official to the right should have made the call. The one underneath the goalpost made the call. He can't see the contact.
I mean, Smalling doesn't even come up and complain about it because he knew he pushed off. But sometimes it happens.
Yep.
Basically, all that's going to do is change the final score. It's 24-10 with 49 seconds left.
But these officials also get graded for every call for bowl games,
right?
Possible playoff games. And that was definitely not his call, so he'll get reprimanded on this.
Onside kick, loose ball. Who's going to win the fight at the bottom of that pile? Still going on, too.
There's a play on the play.
You teach your players that's standing around the pile to be pointing, try to influence the official's call.
You think that works,
Oh,
really?
yeah, I think it works. Both teams should be pointing towards their goal line and try to influence the call.
The ruling on the field is that Wisconsin recovered the onside kick. Illegal formation on the kicking team. The 5-yard penalty will be added on to the end of the kick.
So
First down.
even if Illinois had recovered, it would have been wiped out because of their formation penalty.
Again, they got to have so many people on the right side of the kicker. But Garrett Dooley's got to make that play. That's a good practice play during the game. They'll see more of those during the season if they play close games.
Number 22.
Then you got to fight for the ball. When you're underneath, you have got to fight for the ball.
They've got 2 number 4s. I couldn't tell if that was Bennett Williams or Smalling. Well, one of those guys had a shot at it, but as we said, it wouldn't have made any difference in the end.
Special teams coach today has had a little bit of a problem for Illinois. Having 12 men on the field on the 4th down call on the punt.
Which was huge.
Huge.
So Wisconsin now just kneeling.
Wisconsin's got a lot of work to do. They're getting down the home stretch. Michigan, Iowa, not too far down the stretch, and it's going to be a lot tougher game than this. Illinois has got to find a way to get some offense.
No, Michigan or Iowa's not going to make these mistakes for them either.
No.
Only the 3rd time that Wisconsin has been 8-0, 1998, 2004. They've got a shot to run the table and end up in the Big Ten championship game. Here's what they have left. And they really should be favored in all these games. Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and then at Minnesota. Probably none of them will be easy. But get a chance to go 12-0. And then anybody who questions their viability, they've got a chance to answer that in the Big